Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble one of my beds. If you're to buy one of my beds from me and get it home, this is a simple instruction on how to assemble it. You've got two side rails. They're going to be marked A or B. That kind of tells you what side is your up rail, what side is your down side of the rail. So we'll grab the first side rail here. I'm looking at the ends. Neither of these are marked, so it must be the other side. Now it's kind of obvious. These are for your cross beams here, these holes. Your cross beams to hold your mattress. So obviously that side goes down. But I still marked one end, so you kind of know which side goes which way. So it's probably on this side here. Okay, this one's marked B. And I know since I built it that I put the B over here. So basically this side goes in like this. So what you do is I usually start with the headboard. And I go ahead and line it up. It's definitely easier if you have two people. But you're just putting the round holes in the peg there. And so I just kind of work it back and forth, get it started a little, and then go ahead and set it down. Grab the other side rail. Again, there's holes for your cross beams. So that's your bottom. That's going to be towards the ground, the closest to the ground. This one has an A on it. This hole here has an A in it, so you're just matching your letters together. Pretty simple. Sometimes they end up super close, so if you put the bottom one in first, or the top one, you can kind of shimmy it in there. You kind of just go back and forth and work it in. You don't want it in all the way yet, because you got to get them started. Then you kind of need to open them up a little so you can fit the cross beams in. These cross beams are what hold your mattress up. So this one is not started as much, but we're going to open it up a little. Open this side up a little. And then we're going to go ahead and try to get this cross beam in. These are, sometimes I use logs, sometimes I end up using 2x4s. In this scenario, it's two 2x4s. You want the flat side up, not the seam. You don't want the seam here facing up. That would make it taller. You want it a lower profile. So they go in just like this. And so pick a side, get it into the hole there, and then you come over to the other side and you start to close the bed a little. And then you can get them both in. And I just try to get the same amount of tenon in each side of the holes. So now this one, the cross rail is already only 1/2 inch from being all the way in. This side, it's got, you know, 1.5 inches left to go in. So it's just barely in. So if you can, get yourself like a dead blow hammer, or a hammer with a 2x4, just something so you're not damaging the wood as you're hitting it. For that, my attack dog is in the room here. I'm just gonna tap the rail in some, so it's being a little snugger to the headboard. Alright, so I put that in just a little further, a little snugger. We still got 2 more cross beams to get in, so we still need it somewhat open. So we're going to get the next cross beam in here. Like I said, you just come in, Get the one cross beam in, maybe come in low, get that in a little. See, this one I have to open back up and then close it a little. Now I'm just centering those tenons. They're a little short so that you got a little bit of room to work with, but enough meat in there to hold your mattress up. So we'll get the next one in. Okay, pull that in a little. All right, so now all 3 cross beams are in. We're gonna pull the footboard in and start lining stuff up there. We'll give it some taps to kind of get it locked in, and then we screw the lag bolts into the other side of the legs, which will suck everything in nice and tight. So you literally just pick up the cross rail, line up the tenon holes. They don't always line up perfect. I mean, they're real close. They take a little tweaking, and that's where it's nice to have 2 people. Because you can put one person on the back side of this log and you're on the front holding it up, lining them up as they push it in. If it's a little snug, you take that dead blow hammer to like the base of the log and just tap it in. You don't want to be hitting it too hard. This is pine wood, even with the cedar wood as well. It will dent easy. So find yourself a 2x4 and a hammer, a dead blow hammer, something, and you should be able to just tap it in. Once you get those tenons in most of the way, that's where that lag bolt comes in and it'll pull everything into place. So, but you go easy with putting those lag bolts in because it's pine wood again and cedar wood, and it will strip out. So this particular bed is a pine log bed, a rustic pine log bed. So you just got to be easy and gentle. You can't be forcing stuff. You can't be manhandling it. You got to be somewhat gentle or you're going to ruin stuff. So once it comes together though, it holds nice and tight and firm, and you really shouldn't have to worry about it unless you need to take it back apart and move it, which as long as you're gentle, as long as you're easy on it, you'll be fine. These are nice and solid. So I'm pulling this in, trying to line them up. Like I said, you'll have to tap it in a little. See, and now that's coming right in, but before you get it in all the way, you want to get the other side in. So same thing. Lift it up, pull that leg in towards it. Oh, and see, that slid right in. Nice. So before you lock everything in, make sure you center your cross beams, make sure they're straight, make sure they're level to the ground. Now those pretty much just float in there. What locks everything in is when you put the lag bolts, which you'll see here in a little bit. Put the lag bolts into the end of the legs here. So we're running 3/8 by 6 inches long lag bolts through the leg into the tenon of the side rail. It's going to lock everything in there nice and tight. If you do happen to overdo it, you can go with a longer lag bolt. So you can always grab yourself a 7-inch or an 8-inch lag bolt, but you just got to push it in there nice and easy, get everything locked in place. So I'm going to tap this in a little closer. Okay, I just would like to see it a little closer before I lock in those lag bolts. Those are all looking pretty good. All these tenons are less than half an inch away from being into that leg completely. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take my drill. I have an impact, but I think it's just a little too hardcore. So I just put a quick connect bit on my drill with the socket, and I'm just going to run those legs in here. That should snug everything up. So I'll try to give you a view of that here. Let's see. Okay. So you can see both those tenons. They're in most of the way. This one's in even further. I'm going to put the lag bolts in, and they should just suck right into place here. It just kind of sucked right in place. We're going to do the same with the top one. Should be good to go. I push these washers up so they're right at the hole, otherwise they're going to oblong your hole. And that was a little bit of cracking from the pine, but again, she's sucked up nice. That thing's sturdy. That ain't going anywhere. So then I make these nice plugs. I haven't made them yet, but you put these plugs in these holes and everything's good. So I'll show you the opposite side. See if I can give you a view of me putting those bolts in. So kind of limited on space here, but stick the lag bolt in, get those washers in as close as you can, because if they push way down, they're going to tear that hole out. So I kind of watch it as I drill it in. Yep, sucked it right into place. Same thing here. Push your washers. They're not perfect, but they're gonna go in there. But if you just let it drop way low, it will rip that hole open. Alright, that grabbed nice and tight. As you can tell, it almost ripped the drill out of my hand. Again, nice and solid. That thing is not budging. So I'm going to do the other side. Then we'll work on getting some plugs done, but that's about it. That's how it works. You kind of assemble it, follow the instructions, match the letters. Remember, when you go to put in the two side rails, don't put them in all the way. You need enough room to open those up to get your cross beams in. Boom, boom, boom. 3 cross beams. On a king bed, I do have to install some kickers under the middle. That's just so over time it doesn't sag. So, but other than that, your headboard, your footboard is one piece. Your side rails are each their own pieces that connect everything together. with your lower cross beams. So hope that helps you assemble your bed.